Malika, tell us a little bit about the work that you do. You know, what's your position, the school that you work in, the kinds of students, what you're aiming to do in the school?
Okay, my name is Malika Piri, as you all know. I work for Special Hope Network. This is an organization that has been in Zambia for over 6 years now, but I've been with this organization for about 5 years. I met Special Hope Network when I was working at the orphanage, one of the biggest orphanages in Zambia. By then I had no idea of, we work with intellectually disabled kids. So I had no idea what that was, because then I was just working with typical developing children. Then the way I met Special Hope Network was one of the founders of Special Hope Network came to the orphanage where I was working. She was setting up a classroom there, and she was training us, the workers there at the orphanages, to identify kids with intellectual disability and to know how to handle them and how to teach them life skills activities. So that's how I met Special Hope Network. She started setting up the classroom there for those kids. By then they were under my care where I was working from, and I had no idea what was going on. These kids in Zambia, they've been ignored, abandoned, and they have no care. They had no care, and the lack of knowledge that we, the people around, have. With the help of Special Hope Network, I got interested with that, and then I joined. I joined as she was training. I got very curious and interested with the whole training. I really wanted to know what intellectual disability was, and the kids as well, because we normally, like, I was part of the community that looked at those kids to be mad. We call them mad here, or mental illness. So I was part of that community who was looking at our kids like that without knowing exactly what was going on. So that's how I met Special Hope Network. So I left the orphanage with a view of trying to go to school and going the field of social work, because I thought that was where my heart was taking me, and in business as well. But currently, I was offered a job at that time with Special Hope Network, and I joined Special Hope Network. That was 5 years ago, and I was trained by one of the founders who has a degree in early childhood and moderate to severe disability. So she trained me, and I became curious again. I started learning more. It was a new setup. It was a new environment, new kids, things that I've never seen before. Because here we have, here in Zambia, there's a lot of kids with intellectual disabilities, a lot of kids with cerebral palsy mostly. So I'd never seen kids who are with that disability level. So I joined them, and I became part of their staff members. So I started teaching kids as I was getting the training from one of the founders. So she trained me. I have no background of going to school as a special education teacher, but she trained me, and I learned more from her, and she keeps on training me up to now. So it's an ongoing training that has been there for the past 5 years for me. Then my role now in Special Hope Network is assistant director. So I act as a mediator between the staff members. I am actually the supervisor of 25 staff members, and I act between the mediator of the directors and the staff members. So all the training that I get from all the directors, people from all over the world come in and train us. So everything that I get, and whenever we're hiring new people, I help train them. I help with the teaching part, teaching the kids. I'm still going around teaching kids. I'm still helping the staff members train. And apparently we are serving 150 children here in the capital city. This is just one state, as I would describe it, one state of Zambia. And it's a big country, so one state, we are not even anywhere, we couldn't consider ourselves to be a majority yet. We are very far from being there. So we are serving 150 kids. We are in the two most poorest compounds in Zambia, So here people are living on less than about $1 a day, and also with apparently nothing. And looking at the backgrounds before we got to those compounds, our kids were not even put into consideration. They were led to die. They were considered a curse most of the time. So they're a curse. Some other parts of Zambia, they're still considered a curse. But for us, with the sensitization, our Goa Special Hope Network, it is to train parents so that parents understand what is going on with their children, and then they would be able to educate the community at large, so that there's less of discrimination and less of looking down on our kids, because even our government doesn't do much as well. So yes.
Man, that's an amazing story of your development as a special educator, of the current situation in Zambia, of all the amazing things you and your colleagues with the Special Hope Network are trying to do. I mean, it's just great. So out of all of this, what's one thing that you've learned that you should share to us here in the United States especially, and along the lines of what Cheryl did, what would be things that you would want to learn in addition from the people in the audience here in St. Louis?
One thing that I've learned working with Special Hope Network is I think I've learned ways, because Special Hope Network, the little that Special Hope does, it has put a smile on parents, and there's much more of sensitization. I think that has been the most area where Special Hope has really breached through, and they've really put a smile on parents, where if a parent was considered to be the cause of the child's disability, or the child is considered a case, they come in and they educate to say it's nobody's fault. I've learned all kinds of disabilities, the meaning, and also how to handle, how to teach our kids, to give them a skill that they've lacked. Those are the things, just one of the things that I've really learned. There's so much more that I've really learned. I think the most important thing for me that has been really, really touching is to see parents smile again, because I think that has been really hard. Yeah, if a parent is smiling, a parent is happy because of the services they are getting, and because of how much people out there are willing to consider their children to be something, I think, and they walk around and they have that pride to say, I have a child who is a human being and not a pet, and not something that is useless. That has been, for me, a life lesson experience. Yes. And then I would also like to learn from people out there. We would like more resources and training as well. We would like people to come in and show us the other part of the world, how the special education classes run, and more training to our staff members as well, because we really need constant learning for us, and we lack resources of books, because we don't have much of the background of special education. We lack those resources. We would like that. We would like to learn that from other people, like if they could come in and they would help us with all kinds of resources to our kids. Even a simple thing as reading, for instance, like we would have parents who've never really had a chance to read or even know how to pronounce a word. So I would really like to have such an experience where their help comes in and they help us with all those kinds of resources for us to move forward, for us to be able to serve more kids. So that has been my prayer.
Thank you so much, Malika. I bet, as a result of this presentation, you're going to get some emails and WhatsApp messages and people who are willing to help you, and also you, Cheryl, and everybody else. So thank you so much, from my heart here that we can see. I mean, really touched it well. It was just perfect there. Thank you so much.